bandits, including the likes of Michael Richards, Wayne Rooney,
Gary Neville.
Say again?
Gary Neville.
No, Wayne Rooney, Michael Richards, and Ian Wright. Now they've been asked about who their favorites will be, or who they think will be the favorite player of the competition. And
Is it Bellingham?
no, how do you call it?
England.
Fiifi-Manfred. Yeah, so they are all going for Fiifi-Manfred, although England have not even played their first game. They are saying that Foden, yeah.
Phil Foden playing to the number 10. I'm going to say Phil Foden, but I don't think he's going to play the number 10, so I'm going to say Kylian Mbappe.
It's all going to boil down to who wins it. I think Phil Foden, Harry Kane and Kylian Mbappe are my three for the potential players of this tournament.
Player of the tournament, I'll go for Phil Foden. I think with the season that he's had, some of the goals that he scored, the number of goals that he scored, the assists, his general play has just been superb, and I think he can take that into the tournament.
All right, so Phil Foden appearing in there. I had Kylian Mbappe appearing 2 times, Phil Foden 3 times. And so now they are rating Phil Foden ahead of even Kylian Mbappe. Now, for the favorite countries, let's take a listen to what they say.
And people will say, if you look at England's squad, individually we've got the better players. I think so. But as a team, the way Giroud is, the way Griezmann comes into the pocket, the way Kylian, yeah, I'm going to say France.
Obviously England come into it, France come into it, Portugal come into it, Germany.
If not England, I've got a feeling for Portugal. I think they've got a really good squad, good individuals, a good team.
As I said, I think England can and will win it, but if it's not going to be England, then I would have to go with France.
All right, so Fee, your Portugal was mentioned, I think, just once or in a
yesterday when I saw the live scores analytics, they placed Portugal around 5% or so.
Oh, really?
I was surprised.
Yeah.
I was surprised, but yes, a lot of people are tipping England to go and win the title. I don't know why. Maybe they
tip them all the time. Tip when they are going for every major tournament, England.
So I'm only worried, but these are English guys, and you expect that from them. With the likes of Graham Souness and likes Fiifi. You see, out of all of those voices you played about the reaction after the Scottish game, Souness sounded very annoyed, very angry.
So it was a miserable
performance. Yeah. He is Scottish, and he kept on using we. He was talking like a fan.
Yeah.
Sometimes you can agree with him.
But he's a Scottish, so he can't run away from it. He supports his country.
Yeah, I get what Javier was talking about. The columnist in the BBC that used the fact that the Scottish went into the game hoping that it would be the Germans. Probably it was induced by taking our 5 pints of beer before they went into the game. The line was always going to be difficult.
Yeah, sure.
Always going to be difficult.
How did you see the German team anyway? Although the opposition was a bit weaker.
Brilliant. I think that they were very good. It wasn't a perfect performance. It would have been perfect if they had prevented the Scots from getting a goal. And that Antonio Rudiger goal was unfortunate, but then still a little bit of a dent on how Germans played. But I think that Julian Nagelsmann has identified exactly how he wants to play. He has rehearsed it with the same players. You know, since he took over the German job, he has scored from the squad that he's taken to the Euros proper. He has scored 98% of them consistently. It was the likes of Toni Kroos who had retired for playing for the football. The likes of Pavlovic who didn't find himself here. When he came in, he knew that he doesn't have a future with Hummels. He knows that he doesn't want to have anything to do with some of those players. He asked them that they were going to stay away. He focused on the players that he wanted to play in. He was clear that his assistant to Toni Kroos in the middle was Pavlovic. He was going to call Pascal Gross as an assistant to Gundogan. And then Endrich was going to be a lone man in the middle. And he told Joshua Kimmich, I'm not going to play you central in the middle of the park and in my German team. You're going to play on the right flank. And it was clear. And then the big one was how he convinced Kroos and told him that we understand that you want to stop playing football, but this is the last run that we want to give you. We think that you are important in this system. Come in and play. For me, my worry for him going forward is the system he played in. You know, when they had the ball, Toni Kroos came to join Rudiger and Jonathan Tah to make it a back three. Then Andrich in the first half will stay alone. Then ahead of him there was going to be Gundogan. Then the two fullbacks, your man Maximilian, and then Kimmich also formed the three up front. Then the three stubborn boys were up top, Musiala, Wirtz, and then Kai Havertz. So those two boys were inside in those pockets where they are very good. They can touch the ball, they'll tease you, they'll drop in, and all of those things. You know, the back five sometimes gives you a pseudo sense of security, and I think that's what the Scots had in their mind, because they were playing with the back five. They're like, Kieran Tierney was playing in the back three, natural as a centre back. And then they had Andrew Robertson playing rather as a wing back. And what the Germans did was that if they keep Kimmich on that wing, it will attract you to come in. If Tierney is not being aggressive enough in those half spaces, then Musiala, Avritz will come and occupy them and they'll head you. They were brilliant. And I was very, very happy that in the second half, Nicholas Fokro came on and got a goal. Yeah, that was a brilliant goal.
You look at the German team yesterday, and just like people said, I think the back line, what I realized was the variation of their back line and the way they play when they under attack, and the way they play when they are moving for the, or when they are offensive. Kimmich for me was not too laid back in the sense that he was not very close to Rudiger and the other guys at the back. He was more or less like a right wing back.
Yeah.
Okay, operating deep in the area of the Scots, and that created a lot of problems for them. And for me, yesterday I saw a better Kai Havertz. Kai Havertz at Chelsea. At that time, I think that Chelsea had Lukaku at that time, and Lukaku was misfiring and was loaned out. And then Kai Havertz, I remember when he started playing as a centre forward for Chelsea, he said that he's comfortable playing that role, and he got some goals for Chelsea in that role. Then he signs for Arsenal, and Mikel Arteta is using him basically for that same purpose. To the extent that maybe Gabriel Jesus, maybe you can talk about the injury here and there. Maybe Edin Ketia, who is deputizing for Gabriel Jesus, sometimes also sits on the bench. But Kai Havertz as an arrowhead has also been very good. And yesterday, his runs up front.
Yeah.
were so.
I was telling Fifi that in fact Arteta has really transformed him.
Yes. The way he was able to.
Oh, no joke. I mean,
we are looking at the German team.
Yeah.
Which has a natural centre forward in Fukru.
Yeah.
And he was on the bench.
He was solid, eh?
He was a bench.
Yeah.
That guy was on the bench, and Kai Havertz, who is for me number 10 or number 8 or whatever,
being started in that role.
Starting in that role, and for me, I think that he was very good yesterday. And his runs and his control, the second goal that the Germans scored, the Musiala goal.
How he,
the ball was on his left.
Back.
He could have scored, but he decided to just lay the pass back for Musiala to just.
At a point, I thought he had wasted the opportunity. Yeah,
he was very good yesterday.
All right, so the first game of Euro 2024 is over. Germany winning by 5-1. What does it tell you about this German team? Today, Hungary are playing Switzerland. Spain are playing Croatia. That's going to be a big game at 4 p.m. And Italy are playing against Albania. I think we should take a look at the Spain-Croatia game because for Javier, for some of the coaches who have done good jobs on their teams in Spain and Germany. All right, so we'll be getting in there, but let me see whether we can activate the phone lines now. Share it all with us about what you made of yesterday's game. Germany playing against Scotland, winning by 5-1. What does it tell you about the German team, and what sort of a competition are you looking forward to? And Spain are playing Croatia today. Italy, Albania. 03220-8356-83597. Let's hear your calls in here. 03220 83596 83597. Let's see who is first on the line. Yesterday the Euros started. We had Germany winning 5-1 against Scotland. So if you can call us at exactly 7 a.m. we'll be speaking to the man in charge of PR at the Ghana Football Association, Neil Armstrong Mortagbe. Hello, good morning.
Good morning, Dala.
Yes, sir. I'm fine. Your name, please?
John D. Patapi.
Oh, okay, John D. It's been a while. Let's talk about the Euros. Yeah,
Charlie. I didn't know Kai Havertz can play like that.
He's a solid player.
Yesterday, everything about him was spot on. But this is what it was. When you wear the after decision,
I
you
was
also
playing
play like that.
because
we will not tolerate that lackadaisical attitude in our destiny yesterday. Thank you.
All right, thank you very much, Dundee. 03220-83596-83597. You can also call us on Euro 2024. Today we have Hungary playing Switzerland. We have Spain, Croatia, as well as Italy playing against Albania. Yesterday it was Germany winning by 5-1, and they had the pundits for them, maybe the players to watch in this competition. Phil Foden, and to a large extent, they talk about that is Kylian Mbappe as well. 03220-83596, 83597. But have you had a big game today? Is Spain coming up against Croatia? A Croatia team that still has the likes of Luka Modric in there.
Yeah, that guy was.
Okay, sorry. Let me just pick this one. Hello, good morning. Hello, good morning.
Good morning, Dala.
Yeah, I'm fine, Abri.
Yeah.
Okay, let's hear you.
Scottish team did not do well at all. I didn't like the way they played. But the German team is not their favorite. They should be careful. Their team is not that good. So they should be careful. I still take my England to win the cup. Thank you.
Okay, the German shift is not too good, eh? Anyway, we'll wait to see. 03220-83596, 83597 euros yesterday. Don't forget that tomorrow there's going to be live commentary as well here on your superstation Love 99.5 FM. So, Javi, quick one on Spain and Croatia.
We see the Croatia team also. I want to believe also when are going through what maybe the Germans also went through some years back in terms of maybe some of the players being in the squad for a very long time, and I think it's about time they replace them with some young up and coming players. So in midfield, obviously going to have Luka Modric in midfield. He almost retired, and let me add that this is going to be Toni Kroos's last game for the last tournament for the Germans, and he's going to retire entirely from football, so he's not going back to Real Madrid, and he's not going to play for the German national team again after this competition. I don't know about Luka Modric, but in midfield, Croatia they have some very good midfield. Luka Modric is there. They have Matej Kovacic, who came to Manchester City from Chelsea and was able to find a place in the team. And he was regular in the
calling you in the next 4 minutes.
They have a very good team. At the back they have Josko Badio, who's also very young.
Calling you in the next 4 minutes.
Very important goals for City last season.
But I calling you in the next 4 minutes.
The Spanish team, and for me, I think that they are going to be one of the teams.
Okay, fine. I thought you said 7.
It's about their quality and the way their manager La Fuente has been able to mold them into a very good team post Luis Enrique. I also mentioned the fact that most of the players are from the Basque region. As many as about 8 or so players are from the Basque region, play for either Athletic Bilbao or for Real Sociedad. So they have a team which is made up of players. Majority of players who play for, let's say, 2 teams, just like we talked about the Germans, where Nagelsmann was very tricked when he came to selecting players. He looked at basically just some 3 very good teams in Germany, Bayern Munich, Leverkusen, and then Dortmund, and pick the players from that area, plus 1 or 2 players from other teams. That is what De La Fuente has also done. I mean, he didn't start very well with the Spain national team. And you remember his affiliation to the former Spanish guy, Rubiales, and the way he supported him and almost lost his job. But the good news is that I think that he's been given a contract extension, a testament to the fact that they think that he's the man to lead the team to a higher height. A very good team, very young team. If you look at their defense, you look at their midfield, and you look at the attack, Morata is going to lead the team. That's what I'm picking. But in midfield, they still have Rodri there. I mean, any team that has Rodri is a solid team in midfield. There is defensive qualities and his passing abilities, and we saw it on the Cruz yesterday. And I think that earlier on, Felix also showed something about Cruz. But 102 passes or so, and he completed 101. So he also able to complete only 1, but just one. He attempted 102 passes and he completed 101. Can you imagine?
Great statistics.
Yeah. So that is what you also find in Rodri, and to some extent this guy Modric also in midfield for the Croats. So it's going to be a very nice game, But I think that if you look at the way Spain has played recently, Lamine Yamal, who is going to turn just 17 years, and some young guys in the team who have been able to, Nico Williams obviously is also going to play, and some very good players, young players who have also been drafted into the team. I think that I'll give the Spaniards the advantage over the Croats. Yeah.
Okay, all right. But there's Italy and Albania. But quickly on the Spain and Croatia game.
Yeah, I mean, let me just start first one on the Hungarian game. Okay. I think that Hungary are going to be part of my dark horses of this competition. Okay. Throughout the qualifications, they were one of the teams to look at in the qualifications, and they bring a different twist to the European game. You remember post World War II. The Hungary geopolitics and the European geopolitics, affected Hungary to the extent that a large part of their landmass was taken away to Slovakia, to Ukraine, and all of the other nations around them. So 2 days ago, there was a report that one of the people that you should look out for in the Euro 2024 is a Carpathian Brigade, which is an ultra group for the Hungarians. And they come to the various competition They don't talk to any journalists. They don't talk to anybody. They are clad in all black. Just have the Hungarian flag in the stands, and then they start singing there. And you hear that they are very vociferous, even more crazier than the English and then the other ultras that are going to come around. So it has that good twist. And also the Hungarian team is a very, very good one. They play with a very, very good back three. And their current president, Viktor Orban, who is in the news for all the issues with Russia and Ukraine, has said that for him as a country, it's about Hungary using the Euros to reinstate themselves in Europe. And then he has given them everything that they need to go and succeed. So you look at how they play in the qualifiers and everything around them. I'm really going to look out for the Hungarian team and see how far they go. Now to the Spain game, there. See, whilst the Spanish team have undergone a lot of changes, the Croatians or the Croats have kept their spine together, and they've added more quality. So if you look at the heart of the Croatian team, key amongst them is, of course, Luka Modric, Ivan Perisic, Matthew Kovacic, in the middle of the park, Marcelo Brozovic in there. And then you go and you look at somebody like Susic, Vlasic, and then over there, in fact, the midfield three that always been dominant in a lot of the games have been Brozovic, Modric, and then Kovacic. And then they are still in there. Now, you go down and then you look at the quality of the forwards that they have. You can see that Kramaric is there, Perisic, and then Petkovic. And then these are all players that have proven from the last World Cup, from the Euros to the last World Cup up till now, they are proven to be very, very important.
In fact, the last two World Cups.
Yes, yes, they've proven to be very, very important, and they've kept all of them together. Now, at the defense, they've added a few young boys who also have proven to be very, very important in their various club sides. At the last two World Cup, there was Vida, but they've added Josko Vardiol, who was at the last World Cup in there, a very, very good left centre back that plays very well under Pep Guardiola, and is going to be very, very important for everything that the Croats want to do. Mind you that in the last World Cup, Livakovic was important from the penalty shootout in goals for the team that's called Croatia. So that's it for the Croats. And if you compare that to the Spanish national team, the Croats have the advantage. They play less of the ball, but then they are excellent in attacking transitions. They're able to hold up the ball and then play into a lot of those transitions. Now, let's look at De La Fuente's Spanish side and then what he has brought onto the team. I think that the Spanish side of De La Fuente are going to play exactly like how the Germans played yesterday. We expect that when the two centre backs open up, Rodri is going to step in between the two centre backs and going to be the deep line playmaker, hoping that the Croats are going to be pulled out of that press. They are going to come man for man press, and then once they do so, they are going to use their wing backs or their full backs to help in ball progression. This is a game where I won't be surprised if Chelsea's Marc Cucurella gets to start in it, because he has proven to be very good. Look at the Spanish team. Dani Carvajal, Cucurella, Grimaldo, very, very important for Bayer Leverkusen as a wing back in there. Merck Laporte, Lenormand, Nacho Fernandez to add experience into the team. Then in the midfielders, Alex Baena, Oyarzabal, Pedri, Rodri, Fabian Ruiz, Williams, and then Zubimendi. Then up top, the width and then the wide area threat of Lamine Yamal, and then of course if you look at somebody like Nico Williams, have proven to be very, very important for their team. I think that Spain will dominate the game, but I won't be shocked that at the end of the day the game ends in a draw. I'm not going to be shocked at all. Spain will have loads of the ball. They will dictate the pace of the game. They will control the game to a very large extent. But I think that I don't see any clear winner in this game, especially as a group opener. Both of them will be careful in how they go, because one person wins this game and they are outright favorites to win the group. A group that has Hungary, that has Switzerland. It's definitely going to be a difficult one for both of them. And it's a tough group. All of them would want to be very careful and make sure that in the subsequent games, they still have enough to qualify them into it. And finally, Italy versus Albania. I mean, me, I'm an Italian by heart and then by association. I love how Italians do their stuff. And yes, it's an Italian team that is not your best Italian team in recent times. But if you look at the possible lineup that Luciano Spalletti, who is the manager of the Italian national team, has put together, the last time where he was speaking to journalists at the Coverciano, he was very, very clear in how he wants to play, how his team Italy wants to play. And he has said that for him, the two most important players in the Italian side are Jorginho, and then Nicolo Barella. So we are expecting that Italy are going to line up with Di Lorenzo, Calafiori, Bastoni, and Di Marco, making a back four. But of course, when they are building up, it's going to be a back three with Di Marco, the highest of the fullbacks. Then Jorginho, Barella, and Fratesi are going to be in the midfield three. Fratesi more of the attacking midfielder, whilst Jorginho stays deeper and then conducts play with Barella very next to him. Then Chiesa, Scamacca, and Pellegrini are going to be up top. Not a very flamboyant Italian side, but then I think that they have what it takes to dispatch the Albanians. Also a very, very solid side. Very, very difficult team to break down the Albanian side. But I really do think that Italy are going to get that one over them.
All right, so it's 6 minutes after 7 here on your Superstation Love 99.5 FM program. It's kickoff. Oh, I should go and come.
Didi, are you coming back?
I don't know. What about? Okay, so let's go on the lines quickly. Here we have Neil Armstrong Motagbe, Head of Public Relations and Strategy at the Ghana Football Association, joining us on the line this morning. Hello, Neil. If you can hear me, good morning, and thank you very much for joining us here.
Yeah, good morning, Bilal. How are you?
I'm very fine, thank you. And you?
My God was great. I'm fine.
Okay. So my first question for you this morning is that, can you explain to me your office, what it entails? Because we know there's a communications department, but now we have a public relations and strategy department as well, where you head. What's the difference between the two, please?
First thing is the director of communications title is clearly different from the head of public relations and strategy. So that's the difference. And I think it's quite obvious. The communications doesn't have a strategy attached to it, does it?
Well,
have strategy attached to it, so
sure.
I don't see where the confusion might be.
Okay, but
Communications has to do with relating to all the publics that the FA serves. Communications deals mainly directly with the media.
Okay, so
and really the move by the Executive Council to appoint both myself and two others as senior communications managers at the FA because of the plethora of media houses that we find in the country. The last time I checked, There are about 700 or so, or even more. Radio, TV, different portals, and the feeling was that the footprint of the FA needed to be widened in terms of coverage of all these outlets. And so you have two senior managers communications who are also tasked with the responsibility from time to time to communicate to the public through the media on behalf of the FA. You have two senior managers communications who were already with the FA before Patrick Akoto and Sheikh Tofik were added. So they also have responsibility to speak to certain topics and specializations on behalf of the FA. Then you have the Director of Communications, Henry Tumasanti, who has been at the vanguard of speaking on behalf of the FA, and myself also speaking on behalf of the FA. To widen the areas that we can cover, the media that we can cover as a football association, that those appointments or these new appointments were made in addition to those that were already working with the FA. But like I said earlier, part of my role also extends to other publics that the FA engages with, and supporting very heavily the GFA Foundation in its work with engaging with other stakeholders, and especially projects that the FA is looking at as far as our corporate social responsibility is concerned. As far as strategy goes, is to work with the Executive Council, look at all the strategic initiatives of the FA, review them from time to time, and where it is that amendments have to be made, discuss with the President and the Executive Council and get them done.
Okay, all right. So how involving has your work been so far since you took charge?
I beg your pardon?
I'm saying that how involving has the work been so far since you took charge?
It's been very involving. A lot to do, a lot to assess, a lot to review. And it's been quite exciting.
Okay, and since you came over, what are some of the strategies that you've been able to come up with that probably as a public we are not much aware of?
Oh, it's not really about me. It's about the Football Association. So I like to detach personalities from what we are doing. The FA has a plan in place that is executing. My role is to look at the plan, especially from the strategic standpoint, and see where strategically the FA is meeting its objectives and where it's not meeting its objectives. So it's not about what strategies have I brought on board, it's about what strategies have the FA put in place that are being implemented already, and how well are they going. That's my job.
Okay. Since I have you, I just want us to touch a bit on the Ghana Premier League, because tomorrow, for instance, is the last round of matches, and we know that a lot of focus is going to be on some centers, especially in Accra, Bechim, and to a large extent at Takwa, where we have matches involving clubs who could possibly be facing relegation. Now, put into perspective what recently happened at Daewoo, I think that the league had gone without blemish onto what happened. For you going into the last round of matches, what are the strategies being put in place in the Ghana by the Ghana Football Association to make sure or to ensure that we get results that will not be surrounded with controversy? We are going to get matches to be played with a lot of integrity.
I don't understand your question.
Okay.
The FA has rules and regulations that govern the running of the Ghana Premier League. These rules and regulations have been in place right from the beginning of the league, and indeed they've been in place since the year 2019. The league has been played for 4 or 5 years, even since 2019, using the same rules and regulations. Where it is, and those rules and regulations are structured to ensure the integrity of the game. Where it is that any entity, especially a club or an official, will go against those rules and regulations, the rules are clear as to how they'll be handled. You mentioned the game on Wednesday. There's been a lot of commentary. There have been interviews I've heard granted by persons purporting to be footballers or players or RTU, and I say purporting because I don't know their voices. So if it is that I hear an interview and the person claims to be Mr. A or Mr. B, I would wait for the facts to be determined, because those matters border a lot on the legal side. So with legality, you look at facts. The facts, as you elicit them, you apply the rules and regulations or the laws that are applicable to those facts. And after you have applied the law to those sets of facts, whatever the determination is, if it's found that certain people have gone against the law and they've infracted on the rules and regulations, you deal with them as the rules and regulations provide. The those same rules and regulations that are in place, and those will be enforced throughout the remaining round of matches. Yes, there's a lot of tension at certain places. I believe that in terms of security arrangement to safeguard property and the lives of persons who will be involved in those games, those are already in place. And we expect that by the end of the last round of matches, we would have determined a worthy champion already. We'll be coming up with outcomes that will ensure that whoever is affected, especially with regard to the litigation dogfight, would go along with the results.
All right. I heard you say that, yes, the voices heard on radio. I mean, we cannot, base the voices heard on radio to say that maybe there was impersonation or not. But, the Football Association has gone ahead to charge Real Tamale United. It means that indeed something, or they find that there's something went wrong in that particular game.
So charges have been prepared against people.
Yeah.
Yes, the laws of natural justice demand that you give people a fair hearing. So until they've been given that fair hearing and come to prove or disprove what is alleged, we cannot make any conclusion.
Okay, all right, but does events of that nature, in a way, does it worry the FA in any way at all? How does it affect the development of our game if indeed it did happen?
To finish the process as we have it at the FA before making the categorical statement.
Okay, all right. I think I have to reframe my question to ask that. Okay, does happening of this nature? The sort of news around what happened on Wednesday, does it affect the brand of the Ghana Football Association in any way?
Obviously, any negative commentary around football affects the brand of Ghana football, and so it's for the FA, having gone through the relevant processes and come to certain determinations to make a signal, put out a signal to the general public, especially to the media, that having come to certain determinations, we will be applying our rules to the letter and ensuring that the integrity of the game is produced. It's preserved. We are clear in our minds, especially given the level of energy shown around the issues that have come up, that Ghanaians are still very much interested in the game of football. It still is the passion of the game. And that's why there's such a level of public interest in it. It beholds on us as an FA to signal to those and to everybody who has shown the level of passion you have seen that this game is still worth supporting. And that is the posture of the GFA through its president, Vincent Monokraku, and also the Executive Council.
Okay. But on a personal note, what has been your impressions of the Ghana Premier League this season so far?
FIFA Association, so
okay, but for the association,
we've had an exciting league. It's been followed quite avidly by football enthusiasts. We have a champion, Samatex, who are 2 years in the Premier League. So for some people, that's refreshing. For others, it's also disruptive in the sense that you typically expect clubs that have been long-standing in the league to be at the higher echelons. That we've not seen this year. We've seen traditions struggle, traditions as in Out of Hope and Kotoko struggle throughout the season. And it shows that for those clubs that are owned or smaller clubs, then use those words in inverted commas, clubs that don't have the kind of following of us in Kotoko, they are showing that in terms of the business of the game, in terms of attracting talent, they've also gotten to a level where they attract significant levels of talent and are therefore very competitive. And I think that makes for good competition.
Okay, nice to hear you say that. But tomorrow is going to be the coronation of Samatex. I don't know what plans the FA has in terms of that coronation. Are we going to see you all guys at Samurai Boy tomorrow presenting the trophy to Samatex?
Well, there will be quite a heavy representation of the FA at Samurai Boy, the coronation of the Ghana Premier League champions. Ghana Premier League is our premium local product. And so you would expect that there will be a good representation of the Football Association and indeed football stakeholders at Samurai Boy to crown Samatex as league champion 2023-2024. At the level of Samatex themselves, it's also historic. Coming to the Premier League in 2 years and achieving this feat is no mean an achievement. And so they have also laid out an elaborate program to celebrate this. And for those of us who are from the FA and from the other clubs who will actually be going there to be part of the coronation, I believe that it's going to be a very interesting and buoyant weekend in Aboy, as we all call it.
Okay. Neil, one of the major concerns of Ghanaian football followers has been the lack of attendance at our Ghana Premier League matches. I don't know whether your office is putting in anything at all to, as it were, get the fans back, because as we had a dialogue on this, the national, there's been radio discussions about this, but still, we are not getting it. Are we putting any strategies for that?
Well, there are centers that would dispute the assertion of lack of attendance at matches.
Okay.
The Summer Boy, for example, is a typical example. They record quite significant levels of attendance. I believe it's because it's a community-based team. You look at the team like Sakwa, even Doma, to a good extent, you see quite attendance. I think the attendance challenge has largely been stuck when you look at the likes of Hearts and Protocol. And typically, tradition is because when it is that the teams don't seem to be in good shape, the supporters are not enthused to go up to the stadium. Like you rightly said, this dialogue has gone on for quite a while. A number of measures have been attempted. We can only continue to work at it towards exciting our publics, especially football enthusiasts, to attend our matches. Primarily, clubs playing high quality football, you'll find that a lot of interest is generated, and once that interest is generated, you have people going to the stadium. So those are the areas that I believe that together with the clubs who are key stakeholders, we should be working on, would working on, to ensure that we have levels of interest in our leagues increasing over time.
Okay, all right. And finally, before I let you go, I know you're a Phobian. Once a Phobian, always a Phobian. Your club, if I should put it that way, has struggled this season. And their survival in this competition rests on the result we'll be recording on Sunday at that is Bichim. For you, though you are behind, I'm very sure that you still follow the team. What do you think they've not been doing right that has resulted in where they are? And how do you think next season, if they should survive this, they should come out of the storm?
Especially our decline comment on Hearts of Oak.
Okay. Okay. All right. Neil Armstrong Motabi, thank you very much for speaking to us on the show this morning.
All right, thank you very much.
Okay. All right, so that was Neil Armstrong Motabi speaking to us here. He's the man in charge of PR and strategies at the Ghana Football Association. Why should I cut you? One can just say, yes, you instructed the way out to one day. I used to say, one cut. Most of the players, so because I moved to me, who say, I am one answer, and you're more. But me, what if you are charging out? So on what basis are they?
Was it 2009?
And 2019 also.
2019. Yeah. But these fews were there when Asgo played against Italy.
Very, very well.
So what is the point? Honestly, me, I didn't hear anything new from what. I didn't hear anything new. I mean, what is said about basically everything that is happening in football already. He didn't give us any strategy. He didn't give us any hope going forward. Looking at our league, the fact that the league is hasn't even got a headline sponsor, for instance. We started this league with a headline sponsor, but mid-season the headline sponsor decided to abandon us. So, and he just left without any legal or whatever implication. He just left. He signed a contract with us for a certain number of years, and the contract didn't expire. And he left, and he's just gone. When he came on board, he told us we were going to use about $1 million for activation of the
media activation.
Media activation, and he's gone. And what happens to the $1 million that he promised us? Who's using it now? We're still using the $1 million. Have we used even a quarter of the $1 million for activating our league, which is ending tomorrow? You look at what he promised building at FiifiManfred, for instance. What is the level of completion? Where have we got to? The state of where have we got into as far as that facility at Pram is concerned, for instance? There are a lot of issues, and I think that we're just creating a lot of positions, a lot of jobs for people to come and occupy and just draw salaries and allowance and bonus and things like that. So, needless. For me, get somebody who is in charge of publicity and strategy. What strategy? What is his strategy? So far, he's been approved for some time. So, I mean, I was expecting that he would tell us that when I came, this how. Where I've moved the situation to. These are the improvements, and those are the things I was expecting. But he told us basically everything that we know already about our league, and he is this, he is that, he is that. But what have you done? I mean, that should have been the crux of the matter, the core of the interview. What you've done as somebody who is in charge of publicity and strategy.
Was he just being evasive, or probably really nothing much has been done? And
nothing has been done. I don't think that he's being evasive. Nothing has been done. I mean, he hasn't got anything to tell us. That's the reality. Neil hasn't got anything new to tell us than what we already know. There's nothing new. I mean, what is new? I mean, if something new has happened, those of us they would have done. Nothing new has happened. Nothing new has happened. What new thing has happened? We are going to play our league, the last one of matches, for instance, and you see, we are anticipating. We have these fears that something is going to happen, but that shouldn't be the case. That our league must be played without any fear of any thoughts at the back of our mind that somebody is going to play a match of convenience or matches of convenience are going to be played. We should have cleared those thoughts.
We have trust in the system.
We should have cleared those thoughts from our mind a long time ago. And season in, season out, when it gets to this stage of our competition, domestically, for instance, some of these things really ugly head. They come up again, and we have to be discussing it. We have to be discussing it. And I told you last week that for me, the most competitive match that I was expecting to watch last 2 weeks or so was the game between House of Oak and that for me was a competitive game. Even though the standard was very low, you get a sense that it was very competitive, a very low competition in any way, but it was competitive. But last one of matches, going to look at what happened. RTU versus Dreams FC. What happened? RTU players for 6 solid months. Players are complaining that their salaries have not been paid to them. 6 months. But we have regulations which says that you can't go beyond 6 months and not pay your players their salaries. And who is making sure that regulation or those laws that we have are enforced? It is FA which is supposed to enforce that. Have they enforced? Are they enforcing it? No. To the extent that RTU players didn't most of the players didn't go.